About 19 years ago, I stood in a small chapel and faced my wife, and we exchanged wedding vows. One of the vows that we decided to include was a little bit different. We said, "I will not divorce you." You can almost hear a pin drop after we said those words. And I think I heard the audience gasp a little bit because that's not something that we typically include. As we continue to look at the message of Jesus, Jesus transitions to this little bit odd topic of marriage and divorce and vows. He says in Matthew 5, "You've heard that the law says that a man can divorce his wife by merely giving her a certificate of divorce. But I say that a man who divorces his wife, unless she's been unfaithful, causes her to commit adultery." Then Jesus takes it even deeper and he says, "You've also heard that the ancestors said, 'You must not break your vows.' But I say to you, don't make any vows. Just say yes or no. Anything else is from the evil one." Why is Jesus talking about divorce and keeping vows? What does this have to do with anything? It seems like an odd topic to me. Well, marriage is simply keeping a promise or a vow to faithfully love one person for the rest of your life. Whether we're promising our undying love and affection or to return something that we borrowed, at the core of both of these is our ability to be faithful. When it comes to promises, we tend to approach them in one of two ways. Either contractually, like a marriage, and where if the other person doesn't meet the terms, then we just decide we're done, or we add all this flowery language like "I swear on my mother's grave," because we know we're really not going to do it. The issue isn't legality, it's faithfulness. Jesus wants us to say what we mean and mean what we say. Why does God care so much about our faithfulness to our promises and our marriages? Because God is faithful. That's his nature. That's who he is. Deuteronomy 7:9 says he is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to generations. If you follow Jesus, God is calling you to be faithful to your promises. He is calling you to be an ambassador of his faithfulness. Let me say that one more time. God is calling you to be an ambassador of his faithfulness. We are called to show the world through our faithfulness what a faithful God is like. The problem is that we are not always faithful. We don't always do that. But God can empower us by his Holy Spirit to become faithful people. This week, examine yourself. What are some areas of your life where you think God is calling you to be faithful? Maybe it's to a job that you don't like. Maybe it's to be a blessing to your neighbor. If you're married, it's definitely to your spouse. If you're a parent, it's definitely to your children. Maybe it's serving at your church. Whatever it is, zero in on that area and ask God to give you the power to be faithful, to be an ambassador of faithfulness. I want to leave you with this one encouragement because I know that sometimes we don't always measure up. We are not always faithful like we want to be. It says this in 2 Timothy 2:13. If we are faithless, he remains faithful. This week, do the things God is calling you to be faithful to, but know this, even when you fail, he is faithful.